and I'm sitting here getting some stuff put together. I actually haven't been live in a little while, and I do apologize because I've been sick and it's been a little busy and crazy around here. But I did want to do a live video to kind of show and educate people on when you do puppy counts. I usually use an x-ray to do puppy counts, and when I use my x-ray, it helps give me a better count on how many puppies I am expecting. And that's kind of what I'm going to go over today. And let me see, I'm just getting everything over here set up. Now, unfortunately, I've been trying to use OBS and it's been a learning curve. So I'm actually not using OBS right now. I'm just using my phone. But it looks like everything is actually going to be okay. So when you have a female dog who is pregnant and you want to do a puppy count, there are actually a couple ways to do puppy counts. So you can do a palpitation, which if the female is further along enough that the doctor can actually squeeze the abdomen and feel the puppies that are there, you know, the little balls of puppies. That's not a really good method to get a good puppy count. It is a good method to confirm pregnancy. The second one is ultrasound. Ultrasound, I don't do ultrasounds on my dogs. A lot of people do, and that's okay. But ultrasound, it's also iffy. You know, sometimes you don't get a accurate puppy count, depending on, you know, the ultrasound and the cream, and, you know, it depends on if you have your dog sedated or not too. My method of doing a puppy count is using an x-ray. And the reason I use x-rays is because it actually gives me more of a defined puppy count where I know that there is at least this many in there. Now, can puppies hide or be stacked one on top of the other? Yes, they can, absolutely. So this at least gives me a peace of mind of knowing there's at least this many in there. And, you know, while I'm sitting there getting everything cleaned up and that, if by chance there is an extra puppy, I'm still in there to take care of everything. So I am actually going to flip my screen over and I'm going to show you an x-ray. So my female, and excuse me if I'm a little wobbly because I am trying to do this the best I can, but my female actually got this x-ray done the day before she had puppies. Okay, so this is as close as possible to fully developed puppies that are getting ready to be born as you can get. So I am a little shaky, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set my phone into my, while I'm getting everything set up, I'm gonna set my phone into my stand so that way you guys can, you know, not wobbly video, but better view of what we're going to look at. And again, if I had OBS up and running, this would be a lot better. So again, bear with me. I do apologize. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger so you can see. And I am actually going to start learning how to use OBS so that way I can, you know, go back and forth and stream and show you guys. Let's see. Hi, Lou. Hello, Clara. While I'm going through this, if you have any questions, like I said, I'm going to be trying to watch chat while I'm explaining this. I will pop in and look, but so far right now, I have just got the camera set up where you can see the x-ray, and I'm hoping you can see this pretty good. And so this is again a educational video. Hello. And it's going to show you when you do a puppy count how to distinguish, you know, for instance, an x-ray is only good at the last part of the pregnancy. That looks crazy. Yeah, it does, but it definitely gives you a peace of mind of puppies. So like I said, there's 3 ways to do a puppy count. There is a palpitation. Palpitation is where a vet or somebody who actually knows about puppy reproduction will take their hand and kind of squeeze this area here, and they'll feel the puppies. Oh, you had your, oh, let's see. If you want to start making guesses, you can, because at the end of the video, she actually had puppies Tuesday. I will tell you how many she actually did have, and I will introduce the puppies. So if you want to leave a couple of guesses, you know, like I said, it's not the best, and I do apologize. I don't have the OBS working. I couldn't get it to work. But I'm just going to kind of go through and let you see. So palpitation is where somebody will actually press on the sides of the stomach here and feel for the balls that are actually embryos. That's not a really good method to do puppy count. It is a good method to confirm pregnancy. The next way you can do a puppy count is ultrasound. Ultrasound, again, is a little iffy. You know, if you have your dog sedated, it might be easier. If they're awake and moving around, it'll be a little bit harder. Ultrasound is also a better way to confirm pregnancy than to get a puppy count. I don't use ultrasound, and I don't use a palpitation. What I use is x-ray, which is, again, what you see here. This is the x-ray that was done the day before my dog had her puppies. So these are fully developed skeletons. Now, when you're looking at skeletons for puppies, you cannot do an x-ray, excuse me, before, I'm going to say before day 40, because the bones have not calified yet. They haven't hardened yet, okay? So if you do an x-ray, let's say on day 35, you might not see anything in here. You might not see any trace of any kind of puppy. You might see like some dark spots that might show up on an x-ray, but an x-ray will only show you a skeleton when it's calified. And puppy skeletons usually don't calify until day 40-ish, 45. You know, you want to be sure that you have your female long enough pregnant to, that's why it's very, very important to use, and I'm going to put this up here, whelping calendars. So these are printout. I printed this out again on Google, just did 2025 dog whelping calendar. All you do is you mark the days that you mated, and it gives you a date for 63 days later. And the first day she mated was here, and her due date was 63 days here, but she did give birth the day before. So this right here is very, very important. So that way you do keep track of what's going on. You know, you want to make sure that you have your dates and that written down or noted somewhere. All right. Yes, look at the ribs. Now, excuse me, because I'm kind of going back and forth with this. I have this sheet here, and I'm going to go over it with you. And later, I'll put links in the description on where you can find this material. But when you do an x-ray, all of the bones will not be visible at the same time. These bones here are only visible because it's at the end of, you know, their gestation. So the first evidence of any kind of bone mineralization is going to be the skull. The skull will start to mineralize around day 43 to 46. So day 45 is a real good day to start maybe seeing the skulls in the x-rays. And I'm going to actually flip over real quick. And excuse me, I am so sorry about, like I said, I just got over a really bad cold, but I really wanted to do this live. So this is a adult canine. Let me flip you over there. An adult canine skeleton. And I'm just Googling. And there are different bones here. And whenever I go through the video, if you don't know what a bone is, you can just Google the canine skeleton and look for the labels of it. For instance, you'll be looking for the skull, which obviously is the skull. The skull is the top part, not the mandible. That's the bottom part. If I say scapula, scapula is basically this front chest bone. Humerus and femur. Of course, the femur is, let's see where the femur is. The humerus is right here. And where's the dog's femur? I know it's here. There it is. The femur is right here. And then also you're going to look at the pelvis. The pelvis is going to be this backbone pelvis. And you're also going to be looking at radius, which again, radius is the front bone of the front paw. The ulina, that's the backbone of the back paw. So again, if you aren't familiar with the canine skeleton while I'm going through this process, you can just Google. And, you know, even if you wanted to print a skeleton out, you can, so that way you can know. But we're going to go back to the actual. All right, there we go. So in this x-ray here, you can definitely tell that there are lots of skulls. And some of them, and I'm going to go over this way, some of them you can barely see because they start going in to the rib cage of the mom. So let's see if I can get any. Yes, I'm going to get a little bit closer. So for instance, this one right here, this is the rib cage of the mom. You can see the outline barely of a skull, and then you can see the vertebrae that's attached to the skull. And that's how you do a really good puppy count. So that's why, and here's another skull. It's a little bit hard to see, but once you know what you're looking for, it gets really easy to pick these out. All right, so we're gonna go to this one right here. This one right here, that's by itself, and it's very visible. So we have the skull here. That's the first thing to mineralize. Later, the scapula, humerus, and femur will materialize around day 48. So you're looking for the front of the puppy to start mineralizing first. Okay? And then later, the back legs, the radius, let's see, the radius, the ula, and the tibula will start to materialize back here. You can see them very good here. Now, let's see, around day 54, the pelvis and the ribs will start to materialize. So the pelvis is right here. This is the pelvis. And then again, as you can see, the ribs are very distinct, very distinct. The last thing to become hard for the skeleton are the vertebrae, the fibula, and you'll see the outer extremities start to materialize. For instance, the mandible, and you'll be able to see teeth. If you get a really good x-ray, you'll be able to see teeth. So I am actually going to go here, and I'm going to get this one pulled up so we can get a little bit of a closer view. All right, so again, remember, these x-rays, or this x-ray is done the day before she gave birth. So there is so much going on here. So we have the skull. And then when you do a puppy count, you always want to try to match the spine and the rib cage with the puppy. Okay? So for instance, when you see an x-ray, you're like, this is a puppy. This puppy is connected to this rib cage and this spine. Okay? And then you'll see another puppy behind it. This puppy here is actually behind this puppy. You'll see here's its head, here's its skull, and it is going kind of up and back. Okay. Now this, when you see this here, this looks kind of like it's two spines, but it's really not. So this puppy here is connected to this spine. Now we have, let's see. Oh, you know what? I was wrong. Let me see. So this one goes here, up here. And then this one will come down here. So when you're doing your puppy counts, you just want to make sure that you match the skull with the spine. Okay, so like this one kind of goes up here, but there's no skull up here. You can see the back pelvis. So we'll follow this down, and it does connect to this head. Now, usually whenever I do a puppy count, I will use paint, and I'll paint like a dot on this puppy skull, and I'll draw a line down the spine. So that way I know that one's there, this one's here, and then this right here is kind of weird. It looks like a three-headed puppy, but it's not. It's just puppies layered on each other. So you have a head here, a skull here, and this skull goes down. You have this skull here, and then you have the vertebrae that goes over here. And then you have this skull, and it's connected to here. And then coming over here, we have the hidden puppies. Like I said, we have a skull here, and then it's connected to these vertebrae, the spine, and then there's its rib cage. And then we have a skull here, and it's connected to this spine, and there we go. And like I said, you can actually see the mom's, oh, and this is cool. This is 3D. Let me put it back to original size. So you can actually, well, when my vet sends me the x-rays, I don't want just a flat picture of an x-ray. They actually send me a link where I can see, you know, negative of the x-ray, the regular x-ray, because sometimes it does get a little confusing when you're doing a puppy count. So having this is awesome. This is actually called, I do believe, Index Web Packs that they send me. They send me a link. Now the link is only good for a couple days, which is why I wanted to do this video. So that way you can see actually what I look at whenever I see a x-ray from my doctor. Your doctor or your vet might do something else. Again, here is the spine to the female. That's the female spine. And then her rib cage starts right here. And like I said, it is really, really cool to be able to maneuver and look at an x-ray in different ways to do a puppy count. But let's see. And also whenever they do an x-ray, if your dog is kind of long like mine, sometimes they will split the x-ray to do a front part and a back part. But I'm lucky enough right now that they were able to do the full abdomen in one shot, which is really, really cool. It's really, really helpful. So this is, again, a x-ray of the puppies. And right now I'm going to tell you how many she had. But let's do a count real quick. So we have 1 here, 2 here, 3 here, 4 here, 5 here, 6, we're going to go over here, 7, and I'm going to move, we're going to do, see, this first picture here, which is why I have 2 pictures, it only showed 1 puppy here, but it didn't show the puppy up front. So they actually took another one, and it shows 2 puppies, 7. Here's number 8, and here's number 9. So this looks like there are 9 puppies in here. Nope, we are actually doing puppy counts. Baby puppies, yep. All right, so we did a count. There are, it looks like 9 in here. Again, I'm trying to pan and show you. 1, 2, and then we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Now, again, this was taken the day before she had puppies. And yes, she did end up having 9 beautiful puppies. So this is as close as you can get to a very accurate puppy count. And here in just a second, I am actually going to bring out some puppies and I'm going to introduce you to them. But again, I just wanted to do this video because when my vet sends me this link to look at my x-rays, it's a link that actually expires in like a week after they send it to me. So that's why I really wanted to do this video, to show you what you would see when you do an x-ray puppy count. All right, so I am going to get ready to bring out the puppies. Are actually 6 days old today. They were born Tuesday. And I'm going to show you something really cool. So let me see if I can, there we go. I actually have my white female. This is Star. The litter father is Silver. Now, when I mate my German Shepherds, I actually mate and I consider health, I consider the breed, and I consider coloring. So, for example, Star and Silver, looking at their DNA, can have a variation of silver puppies and white puppies. So, when I have puppies, I can actually kind of look and see what color and what kind of puppies I'll have. Now, this is, I say, about 95% accurate, but this is something that is really awesome to have. And this was made for me by a close friend, Katerina. She actually knows a whole lot about dog DNA and genetics and that. So she helps me get these put together, and she prints them out, or she makes them and I print them out so I can always have them. But she does go into the descriptions of possible coat colors, patterns. You know, she doesn't just take into account what the actual dog carries, but she does look at the genes that the dogs do carry from their parents. All right, so I am going to go grab a puppy, and I will be right back, and we will introduce you to puppies. All right, so I am back and I'm going to flip you around. All right, so she did have 9 puppies. 3 of them are solid white and 6 of them are silver. Now, this is, okay, so let me back up. So she had 9 puppies, 2 of them were boys, and then she had 7 girls. Now, all the white puppies, she had 3 white puppies. They are all girls. She had 6 silver puppies. 2 of those are boys, and 4 of those are girls. Now, this puppy is crying, which is normal. We actually start from day 1 on holding and touching and desensitizing the puppies. So, you know, if you hear her being upset, that is perfectly normal. She is not getting hurt in any way. but we do start handling our puppies from day one. So they are used to us and being handled. We do a lot of different puppy exercises with them. Right now, the puppies have their eyes closed and their ears closed. All right. Puppies cannot regulate their temperature until they're about 3 to 4 days old, which is why it's very, very important for them to have a heating pad, a heating source, and mom to keep them warm. They also cannot go to the bathroom by themselves. Well, it depends a little bit. Some of them do poop, which of course, you know, but the moms will actually go in and lick the bottoms and that to help them, you know, to stimulate them going to the bathroom. Okay, so I'm gonna show you her first. Now, this little girl, when she was born, she was all pink. All right, so because she carries a black skin gene, you can tell her muzzle and her feet are starting to change colors. She's starting to go from that light pink to black. But when she was born, she was all pink. Hey, baby. Hey, baby. Yeah. Beautiful baby. All right. So this is a solid white German Shepherd. It is not a solid white Swiss Shepherd. So just to kind of put that out there, I do have a friend that has Swiss Shepherds, and there's nothing wrong with them at all. They're cousins, but this is a solid white German Shepherd. So under this coat, she is actually another color, but because she has a white gene, it bleaches out her color coat. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I am going to go get a silver puppy, and I will be right back so I can show you what those look like. All right. Okay, I am coming back. So this right here is a silver sable puppy. All right, now he is a gorgeous little baby. Yes, now he's one of two brothers, so the same kind of coat. There's 6 of these. 2 of them are boys, 6 of them are girls. Now again, anybody watching, there is no harm to the puppy whatsoever. The puppy definitely is hungry, looking for something to eat, but healthy and happy. She had 9. Yeah, she had 9. But he is 6 days old. And again, right now, his eyes are closed and his ears are closed. They don't start opening for a little while. And look, the little bitty white on his chin, that's called a milk drop. Right now, we don't name the puppies. We just call them by colors right now. He's talking to you. He says hello. He says like, subscribe, leave a comment. And then you can see his toes have got little bitty marks on his toes. He's got white toes. Yeah. But he was born Tuesday. So he's 6 days old today. Now the reason we don't really name our puppies is because whenever they go to their new owners, it's kind of hard to have a puppy rename, you know. So we actually just call them a puppy, 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 puppy. That's about it. So this is Mr. Orange. Now we don't go and say, Mr. Orange, how are you? No, no, no. But we find it beneficial not to give them names. So that way when they do go to their new owners, or whenever I have a puppy that gets adopted, if the owner picks a name for them, I will start using that name so that way the puppy can get associated with that name. But it's just easier instead of naming them one name and then them going to another home and they rename them. But this is a little boy. Yes. And a lot of people say that when they hear puppies, it kind of reminds them of like alligator or crocodile. Oh my goodness. Oh, you're so sweet. Yep. But like I said, this video is kind of in two parts. And oh, he's so cute. Yes. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go put him back. And I'm going to go get one of his sisters. So that way you can see the girls kind of look like him. So give me 2 seconds and I'll be right back. Is there any paint looking ones? No, it's just solid white. And then we've got these sables. But I'm going to go grab him. I'm going to go grab a sister of his real quick and I'll be right back. Oh no, I don't have black and white ones. No, unfortunately. Okay, here I come. Thank you, thank you, thank you for waiting. All right, so I got her on purpose. This girl here hates to be picked up. She just does not want to have anything to do with anybody. She just wants to lay in her, how many dogs you have that you kept at the moment? The puppies, I normally don't keep puppies. I have a very, very small breeding program and I can only keep what I'm able to take really good care of. I am not one of the breeders who breed for money. Even though, yes, when you get a puppy, you're going to have to pay for like the care and all that kind of stuff. But yes, she is the one who just does not like to be held. So we work with her constantly because when you have a puppy that is used to human contact, used to human, oh, dogs, oh, I only have 6 dogs. I don't have more than that. With my home and my land and my area, that's all that I have. I definitely don't, you know, my dogs are like family, so I don't want to not have dogs that I can't respect and love. Only, well, we have a lot of land. Yeah, you have 3. Yeah, we have a lot of land. So, yeah, you see, she's just always, she's always fighting. She does not like to be held, which is, again, one of the important things in our program is you need to make sure, when I go back and forth with my female has a connection with me where she knows that if I touch her puppies or if I grab her puppies, you're a new sub? Oh, thank you. Thank you, thank you. But my female knows that when I am touching and when I'm grabbing her puppies and that, I'm not doing anything to hurt them, even though they'll cry out like this one. The mom will know that I will sit there and I will do weights. I'll have to take them away and weigh them. I'll have to take them away and I check their collars to make sure their collars aren't too tight. because they start growing pretty fast. She's feisty. I think whoever gets this girl needs to call her feisty. But it also helps when they get older to groom, because when you start touching puppies' paws, when you start touching their head, when you get them in an area that they don't like for instance, she doesn't like this, and then you let her recover, it helps them to become better overall. Especially, touching their tails. They're going to need their nails trimmed. They're going to need, bathing. My mom is a dog groomer. Yes, and it all starts when they're this little. In Nashville? Oh, you're in Tennessee. Wonderful. Yeah, because see, if you get a dog that just absolutely hates being touched, grooming is going to be so awful. But you also do want a puppy or a dog that is just well-rounded, Yes, you want them to feel safe with a person, especially holding and that. You want them to feel safe. You want them to build that trust and confidence. Now, whenever I do start listing my puppies, I do not sell my puppies to everybody I meet, okay? I go through a very rigorous screening program because German Shepherds aren't for everybody. I mean, even somebody who will be like, hey, I want a German, you might not have the lifestyle for it. They're not going to be this small all the time. They're going to get big. They're going to need training. They're going to need exercise. They're going to need a lot. Oh, North Carolina. Okay. But when you have dogs, and a lot of people ask me about, adoptions and shelters, and I tell them adoptions and shelters are perfectly fine. There is nothing wrong with adoptions and shelters. If that's where you want to get your dogs and puppies, that's great. But I do blame a lot of the people who get dogs that they don't get the dog that fits their lifestyle, because you don't want to have a dog and you hate shedding, or you don't want to have a dog that is going to get too big if you don't have room for a big dog. So a lot of people, when especially German Shepherds get larger, my goodness, my girl. Yes, and also, hi baby, you telling everybody happy Easter? Yeah, a lot of dogs, will get rehomed or will go into shelters because people don't do enough research on the dogs that are for them. I mean, I have people who are like, I live in an RV, I want a German Shepherd. And I'm like, I kind of have to do a little bit more digging. Not to say anybody in the RV can't have a German Shepherd, but there are people who, just, aren't, and it's like if you work 8 hours a day and you're away, you can still have a German Shepherd, but we need to make sure, hey, are you going to be able to take care of the vet? Is there somebody else at the house who's going to be able to take the puppy out potty or, to training or anything like that? So, yeah. But yes, so, again, I wanted to do this video, not just to introduce all the little babies. Look at that little ear twitch. Yeah. But I wanted to do, again, a lot of the videos that I do on dogs and puppies is educational. There's not a whole lot of videos that I see that go into, yeah. See, this is what you want to do, especially with puppies. Even though they fight, if they fight and you let them down right away, they're just going to be like, okay, if I squirm and I scream, they're going to let me down. But you want to get them into this calm, hey, I'm safe, I'm warm, and it starts a bond and a trust. And like I said, she's the one who usually is so screamy and so hot, you know, she's like, let me go. Oh, oh, yeah. But when you're a breeder, you should love and respect your dogs and your puppies more. Do you? Yeah, I only breed German Shepherds. I was raised with them. Who's the mom? The mom is Star. Star's been in tons of my videos. She's a full white German Shepherd. And Silver actually came into my program about 2 years ago. He is a long-haired silver sable. Very, very beautiful boy. Um, Donald says, hi, hi, Donald. But I actually will not force my dogs to breed. That's very, very important. I know a lot of breeders will try to stick their dogs together because, you know, puppies and money and that. Money is not the reason I do this. I don't have a lot of litters a year. I was waiting for their results. Yeah, she had 9. She had 9 beautiful puppies. Um, the reason I do this is because I love doing it. I love my dogs. I respect my dogs. When we have puppies, the puppies are just like grandkids. You know, they're just amazing. And my younger son actually is going to probably go into veterinarian school. And, you know, he helps when the puppies are born, you know, all during the pregnancy. He's in here, you know, whenever I do medications and stuff. So what was the one 10 months ago or the video? I'd have to look. There, I do videos all the time. There are all kinds of videos that I do. I do videos on puppies. I do videos on training. I do videos on cleaning kennels. I mean, you have to, you know, if you do something, especially with animals. Oh, tie. Okay, so when I do videos about dogs tying, and I get crap about it sometimes, but most of the time it's positive. There are a lot of people out there who think if you can just stick 2 dogs together and have puppies, that's great. But in all honesty, it's not. When you have puppies, or if you are looking into having puppies, you need to do a lot of education stuff and research, because just having puppies to have puppies is not a reason to have puppies. You know, you need to make sure, first and foremost, your dogs are over 2 years old. Do not breed baby dogs. That is just not right. You need to make sure your dogs are health tested. You need to make sure that you put in the investment, time, love, and money into your dogs. You need to make sure that you pair your dogs together. You know, you don't just throw 2 dogs together and say, hey, good luck. You need to make sure that they have great temperaments. You need to make sure that they're healthy. You need to make sure that you have the finances to be able to take care of the pregnant female before, during, and after she gives birth. You need to be able to take care of the puppies. You know, it's not just giving them water and food and here you go. You need to make sure that you have medications. You need to make sure that you have a vet that you can go to just in case something happens. You need to make sure, you know, that you're physically and mentally able to do this, because raising puppies is not for everybody. I mean, a lot of people will ask about sterile areas, and yes, you do need to make sure you use your sterile and cleaner and all that stuff. But puppies, when they start potty training and that, you're going to have to deal with the poo and the pee and the cleanup. And then, you know, you want to make sure that that's something that you're willing to do, because you do not want your puppies to grow or be raised in an area that's filthy. You know, there are so many people who I see who post puppies, and the pictures that they post are of them like in the worst area possible. Right now, where my female is and the puppies are, we are using like older weaning pads, and that's because the female is actually still kind of like bleeding and stuff like that. I do change them, but I try to use some of the older, they're very, very clean. They're not bad at all. It's just, you know, just some of the ones that actually, you know, you don't really care about, but, you know, they're in a clean area. And that way, you know, my female can heal without me being up her behind and trying to clean her, and that she can actually, you know, just be relaxed and focus on healing and taking care of puppies. But yeah, she's sleeping. If you see in not even a few minutes ago, she was like, "Meh, meh, meh, let me go." Now again, she is a silver sable. Beautiful girl. All of the puppies in this litter are short hair or short coat. You do need 2 copies of a long-haired gene to have long-haired puppies. Silver is a long-haired coat, but unfortunately the mom, yeah, it looks like his dad. Or yeah, she looks like his dad, or she looks like her dad. But the mom is only a short-haired coat, and her line is basically short-haired. So unfortunately, no long-haired puppies in this litter, but they are beautiful nonetheless. You see, she's got a beautiful mark. Let's see if I can turn her around. This is what we call sable marking. Did we get any white puppies? Yes, she had 3 white puppies, and what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go put this girl back, and I'm going to go grab a white puppy, and I will be right back, because we had a white puppy earlier, but I'm going to go grab another white puppy, and I will be back. Give me 2 seconds. Girl. You know what? Instead of bringing a puppy, I'm actually going to take you guys to the puppies. Give me a second. And now, this is my house, of course. My garage door here opens, and it goes right out to where the mama is. Now, I used to have my setup with just the whelping box, but I find this 6x6 a little bit more safe, because if I do have to bring in, because here's my other kennels, I usually have other dogs in there. If I do have to bring in other dogs, I do not want them to have access to the mom or the puppies, because, you know, all my other dogs are outside right now and they're happy, but sometimes it rains and storms or there's snow and I'll have to bring my other dogs in. So just in case I ever have to bring in other dogs, I do have this barrier that keeps any other dog from going in with the puppies. Now, I'm going to open up here. She's going to want to get out, and I'm actually going to go ahead and I'm going to let her out potty. So give me just 1 second, and then we can go and see the puppies. Hey, Victor. Victor, get the front door ready. We're going to let Star out potty, okay? All right, so give me just 1 second. Has the dad seen the puppies? No. Right now, I just want the mom to be around the puppies. Let me know when you're ready. Yes. Off. Get off. All right. She is going to go out and go potty so I can come in here. Go potty, mama. Potty, potty, potty. All right. So, excuse me. I'm going to close this. No, the dad has not seen the puppies. And the reason why dad has not seen the puppies is because sometimes moms can get protective even if there's a dad. So right now, all I want her to do is to focus on healing, and I want her to focus on, you know, taking care of the puppies. So I really don't want any distractions, which is why all of these other kennels here right now are closed. Now, like I said, this area here, as you can see, I do use underneath here. There's a full heating blanket. I don't just use a heating pad. There's a full heating blanket under here. and then there's 2 layers of puppy pads. So that way, this whole area is warm. So it is a little girpy in here. As you can see, my female is still recovering. She's still kind of girpy, but here are the babies. So we have, let's see, we'll go through them. So we have, this is a female, this is red, this is female, she's purple. This is a female, she's lime green. The 2 males are Mr. Orange and Mr. Blue. And then the other females are here. This is a black female, black collar female. This is Miss Pink. We have Miss White Collar here. And then we have Miss Yellow. So here are all the puppies. And again, they are all happy because, like I said, underneath here is a full heating blanket. And the heating blanket I use can be turned on for 2, 4, 6, 8, or 10 hours. And you can adjust the heat because you don't want to have a very, very hot heat, because remember, the puppies are also going to be cuddling with their mom. So I have this big heating blanket under here set on a low heat, and I'll have it set especially at night for about 10 hours. I do have a whelping box here. This whelping box is called Puppies whelping box. I do love this whelping box because it's so very easy to clean. And you start out low, like right now they can't get out, and then you add layers as they get bigger. Mama also has food and water all the time, but of course she keeps eating all the food. Right now her food intake has increased, and I am giving her more protein and calcium because she's not only recovering, she's also feeding so many puppies. So we didn't just increase her food, we also increased the quality of it. Trying to get them moving, but oh my goodness. Yeah, they all do these little jerky, and they're so cute. When do you take them away from mom? I usually stop or take them away from mom about 3 weeks old. The reason why the other way, yeah, they're just kind of bouncing. They're like little jelly beans, or you know, they're just. But I usually take them away about 3 weeks old, not before 3 weeks. But the reason I take them away is because about 3 weeks their teeth start breaking through. And I usually try to keep their nails a little bit trim, but their nails start really coming through. So with so many mouths, it actually starts hurting the female's nipples. That was Miss Pink. Yeah, see, look, she's just, look, she is a special girl. She just wants to be all over. So I take them away just right after 3 weeks old because a female can get mastitis and infections and stuff from all the like teeth biting and scratching and that. Plus their eyes are open by that time, their ears are open, and we actually start doing more human contact with them at that time because we like to hand feed our puppies. Yeah. Yeah, they like snuggle. Yeah, we like to hand feed our puppies. When you hand feed our puppies, actually all puppies have blue eyes when they're born, and they gradually turn their normal color. So yeah, they're not going to have blue eyes permanently because it's not in their genes. But puppies are born, and when they start opening their eyes are blue, and then they change colors. But, yep. But like I said, we hand feed our puppies starting at 3 weeks old after we take them away from mom. And the reason why we do that is because we do not want to have a aggressive dog or, you know, a puppy fighting the other puppies for food. We want to make sure everybody eats. Yeah, I wish that there was pretty ice blue puppies, or, you know, ice blue eyes. That would be really cool. But we definitely, have you ever had a puppy? Yes, no, not two different colored eyes, but I have puppies that have had green eyes. I've had puppies that have had gold eyes. You know, I've had puppies with different color eyes, but not two different ones. If I had a puppy with two different color eyes, I'd probably have to keep that one, and my husband would kill me. Yes. But one of the most important things when you're having puppies is you need to make sure that they're all eating. You need to make sure that they're all eating the same. Blue? Yep. You need to make sure that they're all growing healthy. You know, that there's not just one dominant puppy who's pushing all the other ones away. When you raise them and you feed them by hand, or you feed them, you know, with you in the room, it helps make them not food aggressive. It helps to show them that there's plenty of food. Have you ever had one that's gray and white? Gray and white. I'm going to say not a gray and white. Yeah, I have a lot of different colors. I have, let's see, what color shepherds do I have? I have solid white. I have a solid black. I have a solid blue. I have a black and tan. I have a silver. And I have a blue sable. And yeah, I have quite a few different color dogs. And when you pair them, they make different puppies. So, yeah. I like having, I mean, I can't say that I have love for just one color. I just love all the colors. And, you know, it's just me. I prefer. Can we see the two other ones? All of my other dogs are downstairs in the outside kennels, and right now it's like raining and storming, so I really don't want to go outside, because once I go outside, they're gonna maul me and mug me, and I'm actually dressed. I'm kind of dressed for Easter right now, and of course I had to look, I had to put on my pink dog shirt for this video. You know, I like to kind of do that, but I actually do not want to get dirty because we're getting ready to go over to my sister's house for Easter. But I do tell you, if you know, you go back, there's a lot of playlists on my YouTube. There's playlists of like the kennels and my other dogs, so you can actually see down there what they all look like. But yep, I've been jabbering and jabbering and jabbering. Again, I just want to make a video because puppies grow very, very fast. They do. They grow so fast. And, you know, if you don't pick up the phone and make a video, what are the two colored ones' name? Let's see. I have Star, who's the mom here. She's my white. The dad of these puppies here is called Silver, and he actually is, his color is silver. I have a big black and tan male. His name is Conan. And the reason why his name's Conan is because he's big. And I'm a fan of Conan the Barbarian movies. So he always reminds me of Conan the Barbarian because he's huge. I have my black solid female. Her name is Storm. She's just solid black. She just reminds me of a storm cloud. And I have a solid blue girl. Her name is Luna. Yeah, Conan. Big, big dog. And then my last one, I have Nova. Nova is my blue sable. So my 6 dogs, let's see, I have Star, Storm, Nova, Conan, Silver, and Luna. And I tell you, every time, yeah, Luna, yeah, every time I you know, adopt the puppies out, I get a lot of wonderful names. I mean, I tell people, I said, you know, think about the names. That what are you going to name your puppy? And, you know, I get a lot of names. Yeah, Nova. Yeah, we call her Nova because she's blue and it reminds me of a blue Nova. But, all right, so I am going to do one last zoom on the puppies. I'm going to get ready to let the mama back in. And I do want to thank everybody who has, you know, watched the video, thumbs up, who's liked, subscribed. If a white one kept blue eyes, it would be, oh yeah, if the white ones did keep. Oh, Mama's going after somebody mowing the grass. She's outside. But again, if you're watching this video and you see that there's a little dirty in here, that's perfectly normal. Like I said, my female is still recovering. So, oh, look, they're starting to get mobile. They're starting to get mobile. Where's Mom? I don't see her. I don't know where she's at. And then, oh yes, of course I got my bare feet in there. My goodness. But yeah, see, they're 6 days old and they're actually starting to scooch and move around. There goes Blue. It's like it's kind of cold. Where's everybody at? Oh. Oh my goodness. Which is the most lazy? Huh. Well, I'm gonna probably say this white one here, this white collar here. She does not move. She just kind of wants to stay in one spot and does not want to move. Yep. But all right, so I am going to go ahead and get ready to end this video. I did want to tell everybody happy Easter. If you're celebrating Easter, you know, do it safely, have fun. Don't get a rotten egg. But yep, if you haven't already, please, if you have a free second, like, subscribe, leave a comment. I'm going to flip back to me real quick so I can do my spiel. Let me see. Let me get into a place. So this is cool because when we have puppies, when they're born, we actually write down the times, what color the puppy is, and what collar it's on. So we actually keep all of that information whenever they're born. So we know who was born first, who was born later, who was born, and keeps kind of, you know, keeps it kind of a, what do you call it? Oh my goodness, I can't think. It keeps it. Oh, see, I'm live and I'm having a moment. It keeps it. Oh, help me out. It keeps it. Oh, what am I trying to say? When you write down the order of the puppies, that it keeps it organized. Yes, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Organized. Whew. See, that's why sometimes I can't make a video live because I can't think on the fly. I'm like, I'm live. What's the word I want to use? So thank you so much. But again, I'm going to go ahead and let you go. And I am also going to probably be doing some more live videos and some follow-up videos of this litter, of course, on, you know, after I take Mom away. I have to put her in a bodysuit because if you think having 2 boobs when you're breastfeeding is bad, wait till you have 8 or 10 boobs that are just big. So we put her in a suit and, you know, we show you the aftercare of that and all that cool stuff. But, all right, so with that, thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye. Now, how do I turn it off? Usually I have my daughter help me make live videos and she stops. So off there. Nope, I don't want to start a poll. Let's see. How How do you turn it off? I got into live. Off there. Oh, there we go. Are you sure you want to stop streaming? Screaming. All right. Bye-bye.